Hey everybody, this is Captain Yeet here for you for another Kagurabachi manga chapter review. This is going to be chapter 19 titled The Dark Knight. So, let's get into it. They have confirmed that volume 1 for Kagurabachi is going to come out soon. They didn't specifically say like what date, but we do see the cover art for it, and it's Chihiro taking out all those guys inside that building from the very first chapter, so that's pretty cool. Also, we get a color spread, and it's Chihiro taking down all those guys inside of the building right before he saved Char. So that's really cool. After that, we get into the chapter. So when the chapter starts, we see this guy eating some food and drinking some drink inside like this little random restaurant. And he starts to think to himself that when he was a kid, he had a samurai beetle and it ran away. He was really sad about that for a long time, but eventually he just grit his teeth and kept it moving. And then not too long after that, his whole family died. He didn't specifically say how his family died, but he said his family died, and obviously he was really sad about that for a while. But the exact same process with the samurai beetle. He grit his teeth and kept it moving. And there's like a little subtitle with it, because while he's talking about this, he's drinking like his juice or whatever, and he just starts to like pour out of his mouth for like no reason. I don't know why, he just started to like spit it up. And it says, "A boy at a total loss, a sign of an idiot." Anyway, while he's thinking to himself, he looks out the window, and at this exact same time, while he's thinking to himself, the fight between Sojo and Chihiro was happening, the first fight in the city. And it was at that exact moment where Sojo was like conjuring up all that lightning to do that huge blast to kill everybody. And obviously he sees that happening. He goes, "Wait a second, is he about to? No, I still got things to do." And then, Chihiro used himself as a lightning rod, and he took the brunt of it. He goes, "Wait a second, did he just..." I don't understand what they're really saying, but it looks like that guy took all the lightning so it wouldn't kill anybody. And he starts to idolize Chihiro and really wants to meet him and be just like him. So he's sort of like the Bartolomeo from One Piece of Kagurabachi, except he's not so crazy about it. Like, he's not like, on his knees, like, "Oh, Mr. Luffy, Mr. Luffy." Like, he's not like as bombastic and as crazy as Bartolomeo. But yeah, he's like the Bartolomeo of Kagurabachi, which is kind of funny. Oh, I just put him then. I was thinking to myself, I don't know what character I'm going to put in the thumbnail to represent this guy, because obviously there's no pictures of him yet. But I guess I could put Bartolomeo. I could probably put somebody else, but I don't really know. Excuse me. If I sound a little bit weird, it's because I'm a little under the weather. I feel a lot better now, but I'm not fully over it. But I'm a lot better to where I can make videos. My voice is just a little scratchy, so if I sound weird, that's why. That's why. Anyway, like I said, he sees Chihiro take the brunt of all the lightning, and he starts to idolize him because he saved him. And then we cut over to November 1st. It said it's been 18 days since Sojo's death, 7 days until the Ra Kazuichi, which is that big oxen for all the mystic swords or mystic blades and a bunch of other stuff too. So after that, we cut over to that guy that was idolizing Chihiro getting beat up. And he can't really remember why he's getting beat up. And then he remembers. These gangsters were trying to kidnap a little girl. He stepped in the way. He told her to run away. They got mad about it and beat him up, took him in a car, and brought him back to their place. And these guys are sick. Because when they're beating him up inside of the gangster's place, they start to talk about how, like, hey, this guy messed up our transaction from kidnapping that girl. I know he was your tight boss. And the boss was like, "Hey, man, yeah, I'm mad about that, but it doesn't matter. That, oxen is in just a few days, and there's a lot more girls we can purchase for cheap. So you can just keep that away." And they were like, "Yeah, I know, boss, but that's your type." I'm like, "Your type? That was a little girl. That is wild." Yo, these guys are scum. Anyway, thank goodness this guy stepped in. I mean, yeah, it sucks he's getting beat up. He's not that powerful, but these guys are ridiculous. I'm so glad this guy stepped in. Anyway, they keep beating him up and talking about the oxen in a few days. And this guy, he feels really sad that he can't do more to beat up these guys that's beating him because he wants to be like Chihiro. Then he gets up, and it's really interesting. So when he gets up after they stop beating him up, he does this weird hand motion like this, and he goes ISOU, ISO, and his right or left eye goes completely black, and we see some energy coming off the side. And when they see it, they go, "Oh no, he's a sorcerer," so they're going to brace for impact, but then nothing happens. They're like, oh, it's a bluff. This guy can't use magic, so we have to beat him up even more. They go, okay, we had our fill with this guy. Let's just chop him up and kill him. So in the next panel, it was so funny. They start to talk about how they're gonna kill this guy, and then we see a goldfish fly past one person. And then, that's obviously Chihito. But it's so funny to me that they know it's Chihito too. Obviously, they don't specifically know Chihito's name, but it flies past one person, and we see Chihito standing behind these two guys like Batman. Kind of funny. This chapter's called The Dark Knight. Anyway, Chihito comes in, standing behind these two guys. One guy notices the goldfish, and he goes, wait a second. It's a goldfish. He's here. Everybody run. Take him down. They're like, what? Don't hesitate. Take him down. It's too late. Chihito's flying past everybody, cutting them down like the Flash. Chihito is efficient. You already know. You already know he's efficient. I keep looking down because my phone is right here, and I'm scrolling through the chapter to review it. And then he does Inten Black or Kuro Black, obviously. I mean, not obviously, but, it's Inten Black, Kuro Black. Then they have the other move where he can absorb an attack. But he does Kuro Black, takes down everybody else, and he goes over to kill the boss. And then we get a flashback to Chihito and Mr. Sabi talking. So, a couple of chapters ago, one guy told Chihito and Mr. Sabi, excuse me, I really need some water. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry I had to clear my throat. As you can see, like I said, I'm not 100% yet, but I'm well enough. I don't know what that was. Anyway, like I was saying, a couple chapters ago, Chihito and Mr. Sabi was interrogating this one guy. And he was like, there's a tool shed. Well, not specifically a tool shed, but there's a shed like a little a ways away from this main building that where you can probably find some information about the mystic swords or whatever. So Mr. Sabi says, okay, I'm going to go over to that shed and see what's going on. You continue to save Char. And Mr. Sabi walked over to the shed, and there was two sorcerers there. And then when we see Mr. Sabi again, he doesn't look roughed up at all. And I was like, what's going on? Did he find anything inside the shed? I guess not, because he hasn't said anything. And number two, he doesn't look roughed up at all. From guessing, he took down those two guys pretty easily. But he starts to tell Chihito exactly what he found out at the tool shed. Well, sorry, not specifically the tool shed, but you get what I'm saying. Anyway, he said that Sojo was just a pawn. He says that when he was talking to this one guy, he has no idea about what kind of mystic blade that Sojo got, or he had no idea about the auction that's going to take place within a month. Sojo really doesn't know anything either. He's just doing like this task for the higher ups inside the building doing the experiments for Char. And he also says, well, specifically Chihito, he goes, wait, if he was sort of like a grunt kind of guy for the higher ups, why would they entrust him with, they would specifically say the name of Sojo's blade, but I kind of forgot about it, honestly. That's kind of funny, like I just read the chapter. The Hisakuyu? I don't think that's how you say the name. But anyway, he was like, why would they entrust him with a blade like that? He was sort of like a lower type of guy on the power pole. And they don't really explain that, but at the same time, I'm like, well, he was a really good killer. Even without his mystic blade, he killed all those guys inside that like sauna hot tub place. So he was a pretty good asset for them to kill people, and he's a really good fighter too. So giving him a mystic blade on top of that, and he's pretty loyal to them, I mean, that kind of makes sense why they just did that. Anyway, Mr. Sabi says that there's probably 3 things they should probably do before the auction takes place so they can work smarter, not harder. He says, number 1, we need to get in contact with the Sazanami, Sazanami family. And Chihito's like, who are they? And Mr. Sabi says the Sazanami family are the Shadow Authority, a dark auction where all the big names of the underworld gather from all over Japan. The auction, well, it's called the Kazuichi, but the big auction, has been controlled by the Sorcerer's clan for over 200 years. And obviously the auction is going to be held soon. So, if they can get in contact with one of their families, well, not one of their family, specifically this family, they can get in contact with the family and get some information out of them, that would be a big help. When he says this, we see a silhouette of some guy doing this, and his eye looks just like the guy's eye when he tried to use some magic, but he couldn't. It looks just like his eye. So that's interesting. That is really interesting. And that's really all they said about it. You know, it would be a big help to get in contact with them for the underworld and stuff. And then we cut back over to Chihiro taking down everybody. And Chihiro notices that guy, like the Bartolomeo kind of guy, right next to him. And he's like, what the? Is this one of the guys I got to kill too? Nah, he's too beat up. He's probably like somebody that kidnapped him. So then he's like, hey, are you okay? Can you remember your name? He goes, yo, you're that samurai. Thank goodness this is twice. It has to be fate. And he says that his name is... Oh, wait. It's a bit further down. I thought it was right here. My goodness. He said his name is Hakayuri Sa-Anami. So he's a part of that family. So that's really good. It's really good that he idolizes Chihiro too. So he said that's it. So obviously his whole family didn't die, like aunts and uncles, but like his main family, so his mom, dad, and his siblings died. Not like the whole family, because the auction is still taking place, you know. And he looks grown enough, so I was gonna say, why doesn't he live like an uncle or something? But he looks pretty grown enough, so I guess he could live on his own or whatever. Well, he looks like at least 20 something. Oh yeah, he could probably live on his own or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, Chihiro gets kind of freaked out about him following him, idolizing him, so he starts to walk away. And then Chihiro goes, you know what, my bad. What is your name again? And he says his name, and Chihiro's like, yo, he's a Sazanani? This is kind of wild. And then that's the end of the chapter with Chihiro's face, eyes getting really big. Will you hear me out? A connection made from an unforeseen place. Chapter 19, end. And that's the chapter. So things are getting really good. It specifically said at the end of the last chapter and the beginning of this chapter is a whole new arc. So I don't know if this guy's going to have any connections with his family, you know, because it doesn't look like he seems to know what his family does. So maybe he doesn't know, or if he does, he doesn't care about it, so he's not really associated with the family. But if it's anything to do to help Chihiro, he will obviously rat them out in a heartbeat. Because the way this guy acts, I don't know he knows anything about his family. It's kind of cool how they connected it back to the first fight. And, you know, obviously there was people walking around. They would have definitely seen Sojo finna kill them. And then Chihiro, you know, took the brunt of it. So that was really cool, too. And then a little flashback with Mr. Sabi and Chihiro. I thought that was really nice, too. Because that was so funny, because they're in, like, a robe just chilling outside. I thought that was really funny. And, yeah. Oh, yeah, also, before I end it, I'm guessing this guy has magic or dormant magic. Because, like I said, when we saw the silhouette of one of his family members doing this, his eye looked like it had power inside of it and some energy coming off the side. And when Hakyu stood up to use magic, his eye looked the exact same. It had a bunch of, it was completely black, and there's some energy coming off the side, but he didn't use anything. So either he has sorcery, but it's not that good, or it's just dormant and he has to unleash it one day. So that'd be kind of cool too. And yeah, that's the chapter. Pretty good chapter. I can't wait for next week to continue this. So, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you all later. Thank you all for watching. I think you all are definitely being wonderful human beings, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. All right.